What if everything you believe about who you are, your fears, your habits, your personality, was never truly yours to begin with? Here is a fact that should stop you cold. In 1920, a scientist deliberately traumatized a 9-month-old baby just to prove a theory. In 1971, a psychology experiment went so horrifically wrong it had to be shut down early because people were being beaten nearly to death. And in another study, 70% of perfectly healthy children develop speech disorders after just 1 week of psychological abuse. These are not horror movie plots. These are real experiments conducted by real scientists in the name of understanding the human mind. And what they uncovered? It changes everything about how you see yourself. So here's the question I want you to sit with. Are you the person you were born to be, or the person life made you? Stay with me, because the answer will completely rewire how you think about your own mind. At the heart of behavioral psychology sits one of the oldest battles in science: nature versus nurture. The nature side says you are hardwired. Your fears, your behaviors, your limits, they are baked into your DNA. You cannot change. You cannot grow. You are, essentially, already written. But the nurture side? That is where things get interesting. It says behavior is learned. And if something can be learned, it can be unlearned. Think of it this way. If your brain is a smartphone, nature gives you the hardware, but nurture installs all the apps. And here is the kicker. You can delete those apps. But how do we know this? Well, a group of scientists decided to find out by crossing some very serious ethical lines. Meet John Watson. In 1920, this psychologist asked one simple but terrifying question. Is fear something you are born with or something you are taught? To find out, he brought in a 9-month-old baby named Albert. First, Watson placed a fluffy white rabbit in the room. Albert? Totally fine. He crawled right toward it. No fear whatsoever. And then the experiment took a dark turn. Every time Albert reached for the rabbit, a scientist standing behind him would smash 2 metal clangers together, producing a deafening crash. Albert screamed. He cried. He was genuinely terrified. Here is where it gets mind-blowing. After just a few days of this, Watson removed the noise entirely. No more clangers. But the moment Albert saw the rabbit, he froze. Trembling, sobbing. The fear had been installed. Fear is not always born. Sometimes it is built. And this means that the phobias, the anxieties, the irrational fears you carry today, they may have been taught to you by an experience you barely even remember. Now fast forward to 1971. Psychologist Philip Zimbardo asked a different and darker question. What happens when you put good people in a bad place? He recruited 30 ordinary men, paid them well, and randomly assigned them roles. Half became guards, half became prisoners, in a mock prison at Stanford University. The rules were simple, and yet, within days, something terrifying happened. The guards stopped acting. They became their roles. They humiliated inmates. They degraded them. They abused them. The experiment had to be terminated early, because one prisoner was on the verge of being beaten to death. The lesson? Identity is frighteningly fragile. Put a uniform on a person, give them power over others, and the environment alone can override their values. Behavior is not just personal. It is deeply, profoundly situational. So here is what all of this tells us. The fears that keep you up at night, the behaviors you wish you could change, the voice in your head that tells you you are not enough, almost none of it was truly yours from birth. It was conditioned. It was built. And if it was built, it can be rebuilt. Behavioral psychology does not just study what is broken in people. At its core, it carries the most hopeful message of all. You are not your past. You are what you choose to become. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next briefing.